Hey guys, how's it going? I just wanted to do a special video today because we finally did it. We hit 100 subscribers, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am for each and every single one of you guys out there who support any of my content. It means so much to me, and to show my gratitude, I'm doing a second giveaway. Yes, for those of you who participated in my first giveaway, you could see I gave a Tanjiro crewneck sweatshirt away to one of the lucky subscribers that entered into the contest. So I decided this time I'm gonna poll on my Instagram to see what you guys want for a prize. I've polled for you guys picking out what show you wanted or it being a surprise, if you wanted, accessories, figures, or apparel. And apparel won again, and surprise won. So stay tuned to the end of this video so you guys can figure out how to enter to win this contest. And without further ado, let's get into some Jujutsu Kaisen. Alright guys, now that we're at the computer, let's get into this video, because I have a little bit of a shorter treat video for you today. And it's about Mahoraga, because yes, I've kind of jumped on the Megumi fanboy degeneracy this last week or so. As you see, I just came out with a video about Megumi's power, the Zeni'in house secret technique. I did a deep dive on that, so if you haven't seen it, you can check it out right here. But what I wanted to do today was a little bit of a deeper dive on the entirety of the series, with some help of my buddy Blinks from the Discord Jujutsu Kaisen server, where we went through and we found every moment that Megumi almost summoned Mahoraga throughout the series. And yes, it happened a couple of times. And up until you get to the Shibuya arc, you wouldn't really have noticed when he's about to do it, because you've never heard of the Divine General, you've never seen the hand signal that we'll talk about in a little bit. But once we see him actually summon Mahoraga, and then we go back and reanalyze the series up until that point, we can see on 3 occasions he's almost summoned Mahoraga. Now I think this domed its own video, because it's quite a big feat for him to summon Mahoraga, as he knows he can't defeat him on his own, so it's kind of like a last resort trump card, if you will. So that means that multiple times throughout the series, Fugumi's been to the point of utter defeat, where he doesn't see a way out of it. He almost just gave up everything and sacrificed himself. And I think that's pretty interesting and badass that we didn't really notice that when it was happening. We kind of took that for granted, not really knowing what was going through his head and what he was thinking. So let's get into it. Let's get into the first time that he almost summoned Mahoraga. Some of you may know this first time, because it's actually in chapter 1. And if you remembered that and you connected the two, major props to you. But if you go to the last page of chapter 1 and that top left panel, you see Megumi kind of saying that he's talking to Sukuna, who's taken over Yuji at this point, saying that he's going to exorcise him, and based off Jujutsu law regulations that he cannot let a curse run free. And you see him adopt this kind of Shikigami hand signal that is much like this. I'll put a picture of it right here, and then I'll also put a picture below it of what it actually looks like when he calls Mahoraga out, because I think those two symbols are very, very similar. And it makes me think that even at chapter 1, at the beginning of this series, Sukuna posed such a strong threat that Megumi almost just summoned Mahoraga right off the bat, his first thing in the fight. And that's kind of crazy, I think. If Gojo didn't show up, he probably would have summoned Mahoraga. And what would have happened at that point? Would Megumi, would he have died? Would they have defeated Sukuna? Because later in the chapter, also in the Shibuya arc, put a little picture of it right here, Sukuna said that if it was back then, if it was the old him, he doesn't know if he could have beat Mahoraga. So that would have been very interesting for the story. And I think it's kind of cool that they placed that right in the first chapter, kind of foreshadowing when he's actually going to summon Mahoraga. Next, see if you guys can guess it. The next time he used Mahoraga, or almost used Mahoraga, was in chapter 9, again, against Sukuna. Kind of sensing a little bit of a trend here. Now this one is during the fight where Sukuna took out Itadori's heart and forced Megumi to fight him. And this time Megumi didn't just instantly result and going straight for Mahoraga. He did combat with Sukuna a little bit, kind of got slapped, Sukuna slaps hard. So Megumi didn't really stand a chance. But you see in page, let's say 15, 16, you see Megumi starting to get serious, Sukuna says. He forms that hand signal again, the kind of double fist hand signal, but this time he actually starts to say 8 handles before he realized Itadori's taking back over from Sukuna. So he got even closer this time to summoning Mahoraga. He even started saying the name. And again, it goes to show that like Sukuna is such a powerful foe that he doesn't want to take any chances. He knows he can't defeat him. He doesn't stand a chance. So he's been on life or death multiple times up until chapter 9, twice now. It's crazy, guys. And I never connected. I would have never have thought that it was that serious or that was what was going through his head. He was willing to sacrifice himself at those points in the story. I know that it was obviously a pretty sketchy fight with him and Sukuna, but I didn't realize that was what was going on in the background, kind of. So let's get to the last time he almost summoned Mahoraga that I've noticed through my deep dive. If you guys notice any more, please feel free to point it in my face and show me that I missed one, because I couldn't find any others except for this one in chapter 58. When the 3 first years are fighting the cursed spirit wombs, the cursed womb spirits, whatever you call them. And it's when Megumi is separated from Nobara and Itadori and fighting one of the special grade curses on his own. You see him get to a point of like utter defeat. At this point, it wasn't Sukuna that forced him to call upon Mahoraga, or almost call upon Mahoraga. This time it was just Megumi getting slapped and getting smacked by a cursed spirit. And you can see in this panel right here, he's about to adopt that same hand signal, saying that this is the end for me. So he gave up everything. He was going to accept death, or going to accept whatever outcome came from this, and summon the treasure himself. Using this treasure, he was going to summon Mahoraga. And this one, he fakes us out, and he gives us, never mind, and then all of a sudden just pulls a domain expansion out of his ass. Which, I'm not complaining, I think that's badass, and it's a very good development for Megumi, but it's another point where I didn't realize what he was going to do. And it kind of is very impactful now, going back and rereading, to realize that all of these points, all 3 of these chapters where he almost summoned Mahoraga, was literally Megumi accepting defeat in a sense. I mean, he never actually got to the point to actually summoning Mahoraga, but in his mentality, in his mindset, he was at a point where he was willing to just give it all up. And I think that's pretty cool, and I think that's worth noting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and a big shout out again to Blinks on the Jujutsu Kaisen Discord server for helping me find these points and sending me some images and just chatting with me on the idea, because this is something that I found really, really interesting and unique. And I know I missed it, so I'm sure some of you missed it out there. I'm also sure some of you are like, yeah, that's pretty obvious. I put 1 and 1 together right off. But for those of you who enjoy it, you're welcome. And thanks for watching. Now let's get to the giveaway. For this giveaway, I'm thinking of doing it a little different. I'm going to give you guys 2 options to enter into the giveaway. Option 1 is going to be subscribing and liking the video. Not this one, I'm going to come up with a separate video, so stay tuned for that. But you'll get to subscribe, like the video, and then I'll have you leave a comment. Something about some show. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be because I haven't bought the prize yet. So I'll give you more information on that in a later time, probably this weekend, one of those videos when they come out. Maybe Sunday or Saturday, so stay tuned. Second chance you have to win is to go to my Instagram page, follow it, and then I'll be posting something about the giveaway, so you'll like and comment on that post as well. And after that's all done, I'll wait a little bit so you guys have a chance to comment, and I'll probably go through my subscriber and my follower list and then go through the comments, and I'll pull somebody out of the hat, and that person will win a long sleeve shirt of my choosing with an anime theme. So stay tuned, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later. I love you.